Good afternoon. So this is Crap to Cream, and I'm continuing on with this little project of installing the 45 DCOE on my MGB. So my first problem I've come across is how the throttle's actuated. So the little throttle lever goes on here like this. That's how it is. That's how it's starting life. So what needs to happen is I need to cut this bit off here, around here somewhere, and I need to weld it onto here. So I've got to cut this bit off here and weld that onto that. So that's what I'm going to do now. Good afternoon, Crap to Cream. Carrying on with the Weber 45 DCOE installation. As you would have seen with the last video, I was going to do a modification to the carburetor linkage, which I did, and then I found some other Weber bits in one of my little cupboards. So I've decided to go with the overhead twin cable linkage system that I have found in my shed, so in one of the drawers in my shed. So I'll just go through that with you now. So I'll show you the bit that I modified first and explain how that would have worked, and then I'll go through the other one. So this is the one that I had. That was the one I had, and you would recognize that. And then this is what I turned it into. So I cut this bit off here, there, and I welded that onto here. So now that would have gone on here like this, and then I would have had to have made a little bracket to go on here to hold the cable. So I was messing around in the cupboards and I found this setup. So this is a bit more standard. Let's go with that. So this is a dual linkage, dual cable racing linkage. So if I can use it, why not? So this comes with its own little bracket that bolts onto here, and it comes with this setup on the top, and then you get I've got a cable, and then obviously the cable, then that's actually way too long for what I need. Might have to cut it down yet, I will see, but the little nipple on the end of the cable fits in there quite nicely, comes with the springs, and it just anchors onto the top of the carburetor. And you can get these off eBay quite cheaply. There is a single one and there's a double one, so I just happen to have a double one. I don't know where it came from, but yeah, because I had a Weber in the past, but it went onto the supercharger, and I don't know whether the supercharger one came with this setup on it or not. Then move over to the manifold. So this is the manifold that I'm going to use, which is a 45 DCO to MG. That comes with these, which have two rubber O-rings on either side, and they stop the vibration from the engine getting into the delicate carburetor. And when you fit a 45 DCOE to a supercharger, you do not fit these. That's clearly marked in the instructions. And then on top of that, you get these shake-proof washers. They don't give you a specific torque. They ask you to tighten them up until they touch the spring and then go in 1.5 turns. So that's what I will be doing. So yeah, they sit there, and that's, yeah. They have a little cutout here which needs to go there. And I also found that to do the non-return valve for the brake servo, I had to tap this out. So the Dizzy vacuum just sits in there, and that was fine. That worked a treat. Well, that was fine. I also found a truckload of instructions in the box that I found all the bits in. So it tells you all about the linkages, so it can go either on top or underneath. You can see there. Then it gives you all the linkages, all the parts and the part numbers, so you can order spare parts if you need it. And then this is the one specifically for the MGB 1800, and that gives you all the instructions here on how to install it. So I will follow those instructions. None of the jets have arrived yet, so I just thought I'd build this up and show you what it looks like. So I've got to take this off to put no, I haven't actually, so I can leave that on. Oh, I can't get to these jets here with it in place, so I have to take this off to get to these two jets here. After that, all good. So that's where I'm up to right now. Just giving you a bit of a progress update. So thank you for subscriptions, thank you for comments, and I know that a couple or three people are thinking about doing this conversion, so that's why I'm trying to do it on a step-by-step basis and go through all the little intricacies that I find, so that everybody's aware of what's going on and how this should happen. All right, so we'll leave it there for now, and then when the jets arrive or whatever, if something else happens, like I might decide to fit the carburetor and then do the jets on the car, but yeah, I have to put the linkage on afterwards, so I'll wait and see what happens. I'll see what arrives first and how the timing works out. All right, so I'll speak to you soon. Good morning, Crap to Cream. I've just decided to give you a bit of a heads up of where I'm starting from with this 45 DCOE Weber installation. So this is what I've got over here, over there, and what I'm going to do now is just show you what I've got to do. So the reason I'm changing this is I've received some comments about how the air fuel mixture has to turn 90 degrees here, and that makes it inefficient, and you possibly get a bit of pooling in the bottom of the manifold here, etc, etc. So I've ordered the jets, as you would have seen in the other video. I have sorted out how I'm going to do the carburetor linkage, going over the top of the engine. So I was always concerned about this hitting the top, but this has room, so the 45 DCOE sits even lower because it's a side draft and not a downdraft. Choke should be fine. Didn't realise I had such a long accelerator cable, so this accelerator cable could be okay. I've yet to figure out exactly what I'm going to do with that, but I could use this. So I'm going to take this off, and the other thing that I've remembered now that I've seen it is I need to put an oil catch can on, because the Weber doesn't have an inlet. So I could potentially put it on here, but I'm not going to, because on the 45 DCOE manifold, this is where the Dizzy plugs into, whereas on the DGV it plugs into the actual carburetor itself, which you might be able to see there. So this will be where the carburetor, the distributor plugs into, and the servo will go where it is originally on this manifold. They're not that different, the manifolds. So I'm going to put a catch can here, so I will be able to bolt that to here, and then just run a pipe from there to there, and then down to grade, and then we'll be fine. So there, this is just a picture of where I'm at, what I've got to do. So as soon as I get into it, I will take this carburetor and manifold off, and then I will mount the other one. I'm going to fit the jets and things when they've arrived, so I can progress the installation of this carburetor. So the jets should be arriving next week, and then the catch can should arrive not far after that. All right, so I will remove this and then show you where I'm at. Oh, one other thing. With this manifold, this flange is thinner than this, so I had to make some stepped washers, which is what I mentioned in a previous video. So I had to weld a beader weld onto the front of the flats to make up the gap, so you got equal compression on the inlet and the exhaust manifold. That's just one of the little things I had to do. And because this manifold is the same thickness as the other manifold, I'll be able to use the same step washers. So that's a good thing. All right, onward and forward. Good morning. Here we are, another day, another dollar, and another interesting day. Let's go with that. So, as you might see, I've now fitted the carburetor, and I've now fitted some of the pipes. So, yeah, so the Dizzy vacuum, the servo vacuum, the fuel pipe is here. Choke cable. Herein lies a problem. Accelerator cable, so I've got plenty of accelerator cable here, so I will just have to make that work. So when I have to do that, I'll cut it off, and I'll give you a length of how long it is. so that you know for the future. Now the other problem, right, choke cable. So here's the choke cable and here's the choke connection. Here and here. So that pulls that way. Sorry. So that pulls this way. So the cable's got to come here. That cable is not going to reach. So in the kit, surprisingly, comes another choke cable, which is considerably longer than the one that's in there. However, to replace the choke cable, which is here, I have to take the center console out, because you can't get to here because there's another rib behind this that doesn't allow you to get your little pinkies in there to undo it. So I have to take all the center console out again. I'm feeling the joy already. Also, interesting things that we find when we do these jobs. So I took this carburetor off, and for the more astute amongst you, you might notice something odd. I'll let you just ponder on that for a second. So anyway, I've had interesting issues with the running of this engine. I've played around with the mixture screws, I've played around with all sorts of screws and things to check float heights and everything else. However, I didn't think to take the air filter off and have a look at the choke flaps. So the choke flaps are 3/4 closed, and I found today that the mechanism has a tight spot. So every time I've taken the choke off, it's gone that far and not released completely. Because when the cable goes through here, it can bend out. Now, it's not the sort of thing you look for, but when I had a look, the cable can bend and not push this forward, and that gets stuck. So this could well be the cause for the issues that I've had running with the 3236. I was of the belief that it had things to do with the mixture having to turn 90 degrees from the carburetor into the manifold to go into the engine. So I heeded people's advice, and I've fitted a side draft which has a direct flow of the air fuel mixture and not one that turns 90 degrees. However, I don't want to downplay that the 3236 could well have done the job if I had found that the choke lever was sticking halfway through its stroke from closed to open. Anyway, there you go. So I'll send this video out now because I'm waiting for the jets to arrive, and I've got to take the center console out, and that's just a boring bit. So I'll take the center console out and I'll fit the choke cable while I'm waiting for the jets to arrive. And in the meantime, you can enjoy this video, get what you can out of it, and I'll say thank you very much for the subscriptions, thank you very much for comments. Over the moon with everything, as I keep on saying when you view these videos. It's very encouraging to see so much interest and the level of subscriptions and views that I get, and the retainment of viewing through the video. Thank you very much, appreciate it. So I'll say bye for now.